Okay, so Deb today is going to walk us through a power hour. Krista did an amazing one last week, so thanks for that. Deb's going to do one this week. I love watching different power hours because everybody does it very differently. And it's like, oh, I never would have thought of that. So again, I know Sarah took a ton from Krista's. Hopefully you guys can learn some from Deb. Deb is a machine. So I always say with every power hour, take what works for you and what is your style. Some of what Krista did, I could do. Some of what she does, yeah, no, that's not me, but I learned some, and you're going to do the same with Deb. And that's why I love the dynasty ones, because they're so, you'll pick up stuff that fits you. So before we do that, are there any recognition or things that people want to jump on real quick for while we're here?
I would love to. Ooh, I'm going to welcome Becca. I see you, Becca. Well, I see you not on video. Becca's my new coach, so welcome. This is her first sweat and sip. Also, I want to recognize my coach, Julie Ben David, who told me last night, I'll be asleep, but I'll watch it. She decided to be a coach last week. Like, she's been a challenger, lost 30 pounds, and she hit Emerald and Success Club in 1 week.
Awesome.
She made a decision, and she just went for it. Amber is a new coach who's just been showing up, and I talked a bit about her on our 9 a.m. So super proud of my team.
Cool. Thanks, Deb.
No one else?
Why don't we jump right into it then?
Okay. So, hey, everybody. Like Mike said, I'm going to, hang on.
Hey, Dr. Dave.
Yeah, Dr. Dave. Hey. Okay. I'm going to go through, could he be louder? The process that I've been doing lately. It's an aggressive process. And again, take what you will from it. I've been shooting for 100 connections a day. Don't freak out. But I'm going to go through how I do that. And we're going to aim to get as many quality connections, not like bogus ones, in the next hour. And if you guys could try to keep track per category how many you're getting, because I do think that we want to run our businesses efficiently. And the more connections you make daily, the more chances you're going to grow your business. It really just comes down to that. But they have to be quality. They can't be cold messages. So first, let's do this just for accountability for everyone. Can you guys in the chat, because it's a new month, right? Write what your goal is for the month. So an SC goal, and maybe it's 2, there's no wrong answers. What is your goal for the month for your SE? And if you have a rank advancement goal, and you don't have to, just real quick. Okay. Awesome. Anyone else? Good. Okay, keep them coming as we start. Awesome. So one thing that I do, guys, is bar face, Krista, 100%. I really write down my goals. Yes, Krista. Every month, and they're scary, and I don't like to do it, and I get a stomach ache because you don't want to fail. But I really think you have to call yourself out and put the things. I have a sticky note on here, whatever my month is, and I look at it every day. So when I don't feel like it, I say, do it, Deborah. And I really think it makes a difference. If we kind of go forward just with like a vague, no direction, we won't grow. So awesome goals, no wrong answer, whatever it is. So let's start. We're going to start on Instagram. And if you can try to keep track, I'm going to get my timer going in a second. So I want you to open your Instagram. And we're gonna start with the story bubbles, okay? Does everyone familiar with story bubbles? Okay. So what we're gonna do first, we're gonna start from the beginning of our story bubble. So everyone that's at the top, close to yours, are people that are highly interactive with you. That's what Instagram does, okay? That's fine for right now. What you're gonna do is you're gonna tap, just go all the way we're gonna do 10 minutes. on anyone who can move your business forward. So that's the other piece I say to myself. I'm going to make 25 connections with people who can move my business forward in some way. So what does that mean? That means talking to someone who's been following me, whatever that means. That could mean a challenger who might just have bod, but you really want them to get involved in their nutrition. Anyone that you can move your business forward. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to open their story. You're going to skip someone who you don't think will move your business forward. You're going to open their story, look through them, and the ones that resonate, you need to make a comment, not an emoji. So no emojis, no likes, comment. Questions? Okay, let's go for 10 minutes, and I want you to try to do 25. And these should be quick, guys, okay? Comment and move on. Oops, sorry. One little tip if you're losing track, because I do like to keep track, is just if you're like, I don't know how many I've sent, just go back into your inbox and just count. So I'm like, all right, I sent X amount, I need to do 10 more. And we still have 4 minutes, okay? All right, that was 10 minutes. Hands up if you did 25. Did you guys know? Not sure. Okay. Um, maybe. Okay. So
Can I ask you a question?
yeah.
Where do those people come from? Because like I've never done that. I'm like, I don't remember following even these people. And there's so many great people over on that far side.
Well, wait, we didn't do the far side yet. We were doing the close side.
Oh,
But okay, so
sorry.
that's okay. We're gonna do that next so we can flip. But right. So let's just from the front side are people who are following you the most that you're interacting with. But so that should be quick because you kind of know those people, whatever. So I knocked out 25 in 10 minutes. Hopefully you guys got close to that, but it is practice if it's new. But I think what we need to understand is this does not take that long. That's why when people say, I don't have time, in 10 minutes, hopefully you got even 15 people, right? So in 10 minutes, you made 15 new connections. Now we're gonna do what Mike did. You can go back there.
Sorry.
No, maybe I wasn't clear. We're gonna scroll
Yeah.
all the way to the far end of our bubbles. And a lot of them won't be highlighted because you might have interacted. And what you're gonna do, you're gonna do two things. This might take a little bit longer, so you might not get 25. You're gonna look at that person and you're gonna say, like Mike just said, I have no idea who they are. So you're gonna quickly tap on their profile because you're gonna decide, should I be following them? So what I do, I'm just gonna do an example. So scroll all the way to your end. I'm gonna find this first person and I actually know who she is and I know that she could move my business forward. But if you do like Mike and be like, who's that? What I do is I click on their bubble and then I quickly click on their profile. And I say, first of all, are they following me? If they're not following me and I take a quick look at who, like, is this someone that could be on my tribe? Are they completely no one that I would ever reach out to? I do an unfollow. So it actually cleans up your list at the same time as making connections. So it does take a little bit longer. So we're gonna do 15 minutes because I think this is a really, really important task. The great thing is, if they are someone that could be in your tribe or that could be a challenger, it means that they're not seeing your stuff. So you really want to reach out to them because when you do, you're going to show up. So does everyone understand that? Because it could be a bit confusing. Any questions before we do that? All right, so two things. You're going to look at who they are. Look if you don't know them, you're going to check if they're following you. If they're not, but you still think they could be someone that could be your tribe, you're going to comment on their story so that you now are in their sphere. And if not, you're going to unfollow. All right.
We should try not to unfollow our friends, Mike.
Well, it's a great way to unfollow coaches who are following you.
Yes, please don't follow other coaches if you're a coach. Please don't. You can check in on them and see what they're doing, but don't follow them.
Yeah, no, sorry, I don't know how I messed up and went to the end, but then I just got fascinated by all these people that are potentials, and they're like, now all of a sudden I've got all these people in a dialogue with me and I got to ignore it because I'm doing my power hour, but I'm like, I don't usually have people respond to me like that. Anyway, thank you, Deb.
And I'm still going to follow you, Deb. I don't care what you say.
Fine. You can too, Cole. You're my biggest fan. One other tip, you guys. So if you're going through and you're like, I'm not sure who this person is, and you go on their profile and you're like, no, I do think that I could have a connection with them. You can also comment on their post. Like that's still obviously counted as a connection. So sometimes that resonates a little bit more for me if I go back on their grid and I'm like, oh, and so, you could do that too versus their story. All right. How we doing? We bored out of our skulls yet? It can be boring. You have to do it anyway.
I
Any
find it
questions?
fascinating.
Yeah. Any questions about that? Did anyone unfollow people? Like you were like, oh, who are you? Why am I following you?
I have a
Okay.
question, Deb. So now
Yeah.
that we've done like these two sections, like now my inbox is full of responses. So no, but when do you go back? Like I don't want to like just get sucked
Oh,
into
when
that
do you go
hole of
back?
just
Okay.
yeah.
Later. So
Yeah.
when I'm doing my, and it just depends on what your comfort zone is. So I usually do a block of 50, like we just did. Like to me, I don't know how many everyone did, but in that amount of time, I might have done close to 50. It probably would have taken me another 10 minutes, let's say.
Yeah.
I do those 50. I try to do them before my workout, before I come online, work out, get my Shakeology, and then I respond. So I don't respond right away.
Yeah.
That's another block on my time. Then I go to my next power hour of 50.
Okay. Because I just find like sometimes then I get sucked into like 15 different conversations and it's
Exactly.
like, oh,
No. So those people, initially I'd be panicked, like I need to get back to them. And now I realize, no, they're there. And set aside response time blocks.
okay.
So I'm shutting my notifications off. I'm just going through whoever I need to get back to now for the next 15 minutes. Then put your phone away. Okay.
Got it.
All right. Any other questions about that? Okay. So now, super important, guys, is the follow-ups. You've heard it before. The fortune is in the follow-up. I think 90% of my sales are from follow-ups. Like one person out of 300 says, yeah, I want to sign up today, and signs up. So hopefully you have a system in place. Everybody does something different. If you don't and you're newer, no problem. Just figure out what works for you. There's fancier systems. I just use my iPhone notes by month. So I have April, May, June, July from the past year, and I write down a name of anyone who was interested, not just anyone I talked to or just left a say, hey, whatever. Anyone who expressed more information or interest goes on that monthly list. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna try to do 25 follow-ups. So one thing I run into is if I followed up with someone yesterday, you've got it, you can't be annoying. Like you have to still be authentic. So if it's not time yet to follow up again with that person and you want to hit 25 connections, go to that person's page instead and love on their page in some way. So that's still a connection. So if you can't send them a DM again because you just did yesterday and it's too soon, it would be too salesy. Instead, what I do is they're on my list. Okay, I can't send them a DM. I'm going to go to their page and I'm going to comment, not like. I don't count likes as interactions. I'm going to comment on their content. That moves my business forward. That's me showing up. Okay. So you want to try to get 25 of those. Any questions about that? Does that make sense? Got it? Okay. So let's do, what time is it? Okay, 10 minutes. We're almost done. And don't hesitate to go back months and months. You know, sometimes I get through my April list quickly. Then you go back to your March list, you go back to your February list. Okay. Like, it's actually a really good time to connect with people you haven't in a while to say, hey, how are you? You know, I've been doing this lately. Hey, how's it going with everything? We haven't connected since this nightmare. I hope you and your family are healthy. Something simple like that.
So this is people other than the people that you just messaged, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So these are follow-ups, right? So if you already had a connection, if you already messaged them, we want new connections.
Okay.
I just went back in my archives too and scrolling back to polls that I've done. That's kind of a way too to see people that are reaching out that you've started a conversation with, or yeah.
Good idea. You can
Although
also go in your inbox and like scroll all the way, just keep going back, 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 back. And there's people that you tend to miss and forget about. You're like, oops, they slipped through the cracks. So just go back in your inbox, like way back. All right, so we have 10 minutes. Any questions about that? Okay, do you want, should I keep going, Mike, for the last 10 minutes? Or should we do questions or anything? What, are people tired and bored?
No, do show us your total process. I
Okay.
mean, this way it's a recording so people can go back and do it. I like
Okay.
it because these are just pure connections, which are not icky or anything.
Okay, so the last thing that I do, you might need your laptop. So it doesn't, you can do one of two things. One thing that I find interesting, if I go on Facebook on my laptop, Facebook naturally gives you in your feed, your top interactions, like the people that you interact with the most are is what you see on your Facebook feed. But they have a drop down where you can select most recent post. You guys know what this is? So this is like the most recent person who posted. So what I do is maybe I can do a share a screen really, really quick. Because what this does is it brings up people that you might not be seeing normally. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah, okay. So if you go to home, right here over here, news feed, it says top stories. It doesn't want to do it. Okay, see how top stories is checked? That means people who you mostly interact with are coming up. If you switch it to most recent, these are people you probably have not talked to in God knows how long. So I also use that as a cleaning out, unfollow possibly, or unfriend, whatever, and to interact with someone that I haven't seen in a while. Okay. So in 10 minutes, we're going to try to do as many of those as possible. Like, I don't know who this Dustin guy is, but I probably don't want him to be my friend. So I might unfriend him. Okay. Let's go for the last, we have 8 minutes or whatever, 10 minutes. And remember commenting and authentically, again, if you have nothing to say to that person, pop over to their profile and be like, no, and you can unfriend them. And then if you look at their post and it resonates, comment something meaningful.
I've got to run, Deb. But thank you so much. This is a great one. I'm going to come back and watch it later.
No problem. See you, Robin.
Have a good one. Bye, guys.
All right, there's like 2 minutes. So just in case there was any questions, did anyone find that useful? Like I actually blocked 2 people. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to just unfriend you. I'm blocking. Bye. So comments.
Yeah, I'd never seen that feature before.
When you feel like your funnel is dry, it's a great place to keep that funnel going, and just initiate conversations. You know, it's like the beginning of the relationship.
Thanks, Deb.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
thanks, Deb. That was awesome.
Any questions?
Did everyone get at least 20 connections? Okay, so that was in an hour with chatting, right? So you could probably get at least 30 a day.
And the nice part is you can break those sections up if you want. Like if you have 10 minutes, if you don't always have to have an hour. Like for me, that, and I know I'm still, I wasn't a good student, but that whole thing of going to the right, Co did the same thing. So it wasn't just
Yeah,
me.
I totally did.
Sorry. Yeah.
But no, you explained it. We're teachers. We don't listen. We hear one thing and then we just go do it. We don't listen to the full
Yeah.
instructions.
100%.
I'd never seen that before. And it's like all these people that, it's like, who are you? And you're how I wonder how they get in your feed like that. Like at some point, I don't know.
At some point you follow them because they're your followers, right?
I guess, yeah.
So sometimes if you might have done like a mass follow, which I don't always do, but occasionally. And then if you don't have like a follow unfollow system, it's a great way to, you know.
And not that everybody who doesn't have a story isn't a good person to follow, but I like that they all have stories. So there's the coach potential there, right? That they're already doing stories. They're not super shy. And the fact that people respond to a story comment a gajillion times faster than they might ever see as a post comment.
That's why I started doing it.
Oh,
And I noticed so those are my first 2 exercises every day. So if I blow off the rest, then I know I did those.
yeah. Thank you, Deb.
Okay.
I'm just going to stop.